Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Bryan Leonard. One of my favorite segments, Bryan, is questions from Twitter. So you guys get to send us a question, and we have one of the experts on the panel answer for you. So Bryan, this is a question from Barrett I received the other day. Long story short, he's been working on an MLB projection and betting model, and it's been doing really, really well. The problem is he doesn't really have the capital to start. You know, like any other young guy, he's got bills, he's got a fiance, he's got a mortgage and all these other things. So he's trying to figure out if he doesn't have a nice sized bankroll, he needs some tips on where to start.
Well, first thing is, he says he's doing really well. How many units how many games has he done it with? Has he done it with 20 games it's working out well, 100? You really need thousands of repetitions to find out if it's working well. First thing is, if he's doing a model, great, because that's the new thing. A lot of people are using the models. Congratulations to them. That's something that a lot of the people I respect that are coming up are doing. And if you don't have the money to bet on it, you know, it's kind of sucks because you're putting in all the work and you're not rewarding yourself out of it. So what I would say, and because nobody wants to buy a pick or anything like that off of somebody who doesn't bet. So you've got to bet. Even if it's $10, just bet. But it's different now than when I started. Back when I started, there was no internet. And now if he's trying to make himself a name for himself, he's got to get on Twitter and he's got to get on the internet and give something away for free. So what I suggest is you start, I'm sure he's on Twitter already, just get on there and say, hey, I've just got this new model I've come out with, I want to test it out, and just start putting out the plays. And if he does well, people will recognize him and they'll start following him. And hats off to everybody in our company. We're always trying to find new guys and girls who are in this and they're younger and they give out their plays and they obviously know what they're doing.
And working on building a brand.
Working on building a brand.
Yeah.
So if you get to the point where, you know, all of a sudden you've got 20,000 followers for these games for free, then you've got some demand. You've got something.
And you've proven that you can win over a certain sample size, as you mentioned, 1,000. But you know, if you start now, you may only have a few hundred games by the end of baseball season.
But you've got to do something. But back in the last grouping, they would have forums, and you would get into a forum. That's where Johnny Detroit started.
Yeah.
He was in a forum, and he would get in the forum, and he'd say, these are my picks, and then everybody started to follow him on the forum, and then all of a sudden he says, okay, well, now I'm going to Twitter. So you get a following that way. And then people search you out. I mean, there's no better person than Cheetah. Cheetah was somebody that we found that was an up-and-coming. Now he's on ESPN. So there's ability to be out there. You don't have to be a big bettor, but you do want to have a little bit of money on it, so that way people say, you know, the guy does back it up with cash, and you got to do that. But it doesn't have to be a whole lot of cash.
All right, thanks for answering that question, Bryan. Guys, if you have a question for us, feel free to tweet us at WagerTalk. And don't forget, WagerTalk TV users get $25 in wager bucks added to their account after your first purchase at WagerTalk or sportsmemo.com.